Today we're going to be going through the Media Center, showing you how to use a few different features. So when you first turn on your vehicle, you're going to come to this home screen. Top left corner, you have your audio settings. Click on this. It gives you your different sources. We can do AM, FM, Sirius XM. It also gives USB and Bluetooth options. Buttons along the side here. First, top left one will bring us right back to that home screen. Now, next thing down here is your phone settings. So right now, this does not have a phone paired, so let's go ahead and go with this. Press register phone. There's no Bluetooth devices registered. Would you like to add a new one now? Sure, why not? So since I'm recording this on my phone, I'm not going to be able to sync it up. However, normally at this point, regardless of whether you have an Android or Apple device, you're going to open up your Bluetooth settings, and after a moment or so, they'll typically find each other. You're going to see something pop up on your phone that typically just the name of the make and model. If you're in a Camry, it'll say Toyota Camry. Tacoma like this will say Toyota Tacoma. You're going to click on that on the phone screen. It's going to pop up with a PIN number on each side just to make sure that you are pairing to the correct vehicle. So press OK and it syncs you up. Going back home again. Now on the right here we have a mileage indicator. So when you're on a trip, it's going to show you over the past 5-10 minutes or longer, depending on how long your trip is, your average miles per gallon. That way you can get a better idea in graph form of what your city miles per gallon is, what your highways miles per gallon is. Gives you a good idea there. Now let's go to this next button here, this menu button. Alright, so we got some different settings here. As you can see, the audio block, pressing that would take us to that same audio screen we saw before. We'll go back to the menu again. Phone. So if you have your phone synced up via Bluetooth, pressing this button will bring up your contacts, your call logs, also a dial pad so you can make all your phone calls, make and receive them right through the screen. No more reaching and grabbing for your phone frantically when it starts ringing. This is a much safer option. You also have apps. Once you pick up your phone, you can download the Intune apps. There's a whole suite of apps that are available for these Toyota devices. Next option is projection. So basically this is your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay. Me, I have an Android device, but it works pretty much the same either way. Press the button. It's going to tell me right now to connect a compatible device via USB. And once I do that, I can start to set up my Android Auto. Apple CarPlay and Android Auto are fantastic add-ons. They come with standard on all the 2020 models. I use Google Maps all the time. With Google Maps, your maps are updated automatically, it's free, and you don't have another navigation service that you have to worry about. Down here we got your info button. Pressing this, bring up a couple different options. We got Eco and Vehicle Alert History. We'll go to Eco first. This brings up a more detailed display of what we saw on the home screen, breaks down your average miles per gallon. We'll go ahead and back off there. Vehicle Alert History. If you've had any alerts come up, any recommendations, maintenance alerts, issues, what have you, it would show a full history of those here. Brand new vehicle, and it's a Toyota, so it's super dependable anyways. No history showing up. That's always a good sign. So we'll go ahead and back off. Go back to the menu. Finally, we have setup. Now, setup, we could spend a whole video just on setup alone. Nice thing about it, you have a ton of different options here. As you can see, each one of these has categories, has its own settings that you can mess with. Nice thing about it, this is something when you first get your vehicle, you probably want to scroll through these, get this set up however you'd like it, and then you're really not going to touch this setup again. For an example, let's say you don't like this color theme. Right, by default, it's your blue and black theme. We can change it up. Say we want to go to a red theme, especially in the TRD trims when you got the nice red speedometer and odometer. Adding that red theme just makes it all click together. That's what I personally like. Otherwise, you can leave it the default blue, change it to a black and white, whatever you'd like. It's all personal preference. The only other thing I'll touch on a little bit in this one is your voice controls. Two things that I want to point out here. First is your train voice recognition. Second is your voice recognition tutorial. So training voice recognition, pressing that is basically going to ask you to state a couple of lines. That way the system can start understanding your particular voice. That way it can respond and better understand you. That's something that typically you're going to use that once, get it set up, not have to do that again. Now straight below it is your voice recognition tutorial. Now this is really nice because it's going to give you a ton of different tutorials here. That way you get a new vehicle, you get home, you realize, oh, I know they explained to me how to use the voice features, but I don't remember how to set it up. Well, it's going to break all that down for you right here. You got your basics, you got making and receiving calls, help with the voice in general, additional features, radio. This will give you a detailed breakdown of many of the different voice features. You get a new vehicle, if this is something you're not familiar with, I definitely recommend going through, listening to all these. It'll take maybe 5-10 minutes of your time, and then you'll be set. Along the left and right side, we have your general buttons. At the bottom, we have your volume and tune knob for your radio. Top left, we have your home button, brings you back to your home screen. This is usually what you're going to see when you turn your vehicle on. Directly below that, we have your menu button. Audio brings you to your audio sources. Down below, we have a button for map. Now, this particular vehicle is not set up with the navigation app. Toyota has their own navigation we can use. We'll cover in a separate video. You can also set up Google Maps or Apple Maps, which is going to be used through your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto. Up at the right, top right, you have your standard seek and track control for your radio. If you want to scan through those stations, you can do that. You can also use it to skip tracks if you are hooked up to Bluetooth or USB. Phone button. Once you got your phone set up, that's a quick link to your phone screen. So if you need to receive phone calls, brings up your call logs, your call history. So if someone tried to call you, press that, you can call them back right from that screen. And then finally down below here we have apps. And it gives you some instructions here. When you get your new vehicle, you'll want to download the Intune phone app and create a Intune app suite account. And that way you can go through and you can see all the available apps for use with your Toyota.